Alright guys, how you doing? This is Dunaho. I'm back once again. It's nice to see all y'all and everything. Um it's been a while. I know I've been working like a dog. Fortunately I have had a little bit of time to get on now and tell you a couple more things. Um Notice I said I was working like a dog. Now, guess what tonight's video is gonna be about? Work. Job. Just over broke. That's exactly what it stands for. Because the boss pays you just enough to where you're not broke. I know, because unfortunately, he paid me just enough not to be broke. Gave me enough of money that I could take and buy a little bit of things, but not many things. Now, here's what I'm going to help you with. First, I'm going to tell you what you need for a job. Second, I'm going to tell you how to get a job. Third, I'm going to tell you basically if the job's right for you. And well, last, there ain't nothing I really can do. You gotta get off your butt and go do what I just said, probably. Good luck. Alright, first, what you need for a job is, of course, you need a high school diploma for most jobs. You need an alarm clock. You need a cell phone. You need a vehicle or a reliable ride. And you need gas money. And here's why. Most places won't let you work with them without a high school diploma. Some people in high school, some will let you work in high school while you're in high school, and that's like Bilos and Walmarts. Good job for them. Teach them while they're young. Now, here's a nice little one for you. Alarm clock. Why do you need an alarm clock? Because the alarm clock will wake you up so you don't oversleep. You're late for work. A boss don't like that. I was lucky. I had a boss that told me I could come in between 8 to 10 o'clock, as long as I was in between 8 and 10 o'clock. And he let me do that because I worked hard. Now, here's another thing. A reliable ride or a car. If you have a car you own, good job. Drive to work. Reliable ride. Make sure that ride is taking you to work the next day. Because how is it to tell your boss that you don't have a ride? Then he would have told you you should have took and got one. That'll be your fault, not his. And then you'll argue at your boss and lose your job. Now here's another one. Gas money. Reason why I say gas money is because everybody thinks their tanks run off of faith. That doesn't work. You'll end up like my buddy who said, "Hey, guess what? I'm running out of gas and we just passed the gas station about 100 feet back, but we'll keep on going because I think it'll run out. I think we'll run on faith because I believe in God and everything." Glad he believed in God, glad he gave his heart to him. But unfortunately, the car stopped about a mile down the road. Yeah, he kind of felt bad when I asked him, so you're gonna go back there and put some of that faith in that tank back there. He felt pretty bad. Yeah. Now, working is one of those iffy things. Not everybody likes to work, but what you need to do is you need to work hard, and if you're not happy with your work, then why do it? Me, I went into work for Hill Tire. I worked very hard. I loved that work because I love cars. I love working with cars. I will work on a car any day, any time. That is what I love to do. I love working on cars because it's like an art to me. Going to school for game warding right now. I love being in the outdoors and everything, so that would be a perfect job for me. Being in the outdoors. Now y'all, it all depends on what you want. What you do is you put in applications. Even if the place don't have a sign on the outside that says hiring, Go in there and ask for an application. If they tell you they're full, they won't give you one. They'll give you an application just so you can fill out so later on you can get a job. When I went to Hill Tire, they didn't have openings right away. But I took an application, I filled it out, put it in. 3 months later they called me and said, "Hey Harley, we have this nice little opening, and would you like to come down here and let us see how you work and everything?" 2 weeks later I had me a job making $1,400 a month. Yeah, that was nice. Well, no. Yeah, $1,400 a month. Somewhere around there. That was nice. That was perfect. That's that was a job for me because I loved working around cars. Now you got people, they want to work around doing different things, being a lawyer, whatever. If a job makes you happy, then it's a perfect job. That means you'll go to work and expect to do everything. No matter if it's the same thing every day, you'll want to do it. But if you go to a job that you dislike, what you're going to do is you're going to go there and you're going to hate it, you're going to hate it, you're going to hate it, you're going to eventually get fired or quit, and then it's going to, guess what? You might not have another job lined up, which means that's 2 to 3 weeks, no pay. Now, my dad, he never planned to be a welder, but he welded. He was a journeyman ironworker. That journeyman ironworker, the best they come. He worked very hard. He's the hardest worker I ever saw. If I can ever work as hard as him, I would be amazed. He has raised 4 kids very well. I wish I listened to most of his stuff before then, but he always told me, never go into the welding field. They're in high demand, but the problem is there's stuff that comes with jobs. And my dad had to deal with crackheads every day. He had to deal with idiots wanting to fight. And when he got laid off from work, because that's not a career path, it's a career path, but it's more of a job thing where you don't have these benefits if you stay. Some companies will give you benefits, but as soon as they lay you off, those benefits don't stick. So you're constantly looking for a new job. You're with them probably 4 to 5 months out of the time. The longest time my dad stayed with the crew, I think would have to be close to a year. Somewhere in between there, in between 6 months to a year is the longest he ever stayed with one crew. He worked for welding and construction companies like Teton, Zachary, Tidewater. I believe he worked with I forgot a couple others he worked with, but they worked on powerhouses doing all sort of things. Powerhouses were nice little shutdowns, rebuilding the powerhouse, building new parts to it, or building a new powerhouse. He worked on skyscrapers. If you notice some of the buildings up in Charlotte, when he first started out working, he did some of the buildings up there that were going up during the time. But like I said, it all depends on what you prefer. My dad came to like that job. He came to love welding. He could tell you anything about welding, anything about cranes, because they use cranes. They had to lift the big metal somehow. He knew everything about it. But there's things you need for certain jobs. Like my dad, he knew geometry very well. Geometry was used in his work very well. One thing that was mostly used in his work was pi. No, not the food pi. Pi, as in the mathematical term 3.14. It's what you use on circles. Alright? Yes, a circle. Hi kids, today's shape is a circle. Brought to you by the letter whatever. Now, he would mostly use geometry. Angles, circumference, everything. Most people, they don't like doing geometry and most math, so they would go with a better job that involved a lawyer or something. You don't use much geometry in that. Most people prefer to be a doctor. You gotta know a lot about science and medicine. Having these, what they call skills, help you with work. in my work when I was doing mechanics, which I'm going back into, um, they pretty much you had to have skills in engines. I had a lot of knowledge with engines. I came from a family that was my mom. She was the mechanic. My dad, he was a mechanic, but my mom was the mechanic. She was a dog good mechanic. Of course, she learned it from her dad, who is a great mechanic. He owned his own shop there for a while and shut it down because he couldn't run anymore. He decided to go with other things on working, and I mean, that's pretty much. I mean, you do what you want. Do what you love to do. They asked me when I first went in for mine, is this something you're going to love to do or something you want, you have to do? I said, it's something I love to do. They looked at me, they said, son, do you know anything about this? I said, yes, sir, I do. They looked at me again, and they said, alright, so let's see what you know. They took me to a car, told me, show us how to change the oil. I changed the oil. Took me to a rack with a car jacked up, told me to show them how to change the tires. I showed them how to change the tires. They took me somewhere and showed me, said, alright, what's this and what's this, what's this? I said, well, that's a brake, that's a drive shaft, and that's the I was like, that's the brakes, that's the drive shaft, and that's the CV axles. They took me to another spot, told me how to do this and everything. 2 weeks, I had a job. 2 weeks, I had a job. That's because it was something I knew, something I enjoyed. Now, most people, they enjoy being a bag boy. Well, good job. I need somebody to bag up my groceries. Love it. Some people, they enjoy being being lawyers. Great. Need somebody to get me out of jail if I ever go. Some people enjoy being doctors. I'm sorry, I hate doctors. No offense. Won't be seeing you anytime soon. People prefer to be welders. Thank God. I mean, we need somebody to put these iron buildings. They don't make them out of wood much anymore. Some people prefer to be whatever they want to be. You got people that loves flowers. They become florists, or they come the florist, or what you want to call them, the nursery attendants, or a landscaper. Me, I love the outdoors. A landscaper would be something perfect for me. I mean, it all depends. You go with what you're best with. How do you get these jobs? You get up off your butt. You go look for them. They ain't gonna come to you and say, "Hey, I'm a job. I'm shaking in your face. Hello, what's up?" No, they ain't gonna do that. You gotta get off your butt. You gotta go look for them. Because if you want a job, you ain't gonna never find it sitting on your sweet butt. You got these people that says, "Oh, if I pray to God long enough, He'll bring me a job." Well, the thing is God's telling you. I mean, He's pointing you right this way, like that, saying, "There you go, fool. Right there. There's your job." The whole time you're passing by saying, "Oh, He'll give me one. He'll give me one." It's right there. It's right there. Look, look. It's right there. Guess what? You passed it by, and up comes another one, and he's sitting there. It's right there. And eventually you'll catch on. You'll be like, "Man, he ain't giving me no job. I'm going to have to go look for one," and go out. "Oh, here it is." And the whole time God's sitting there. Pointed you to it last week, buddy. Pointed you to it last week. Too shame. It's like that nice little joke. I know this had nothing to do with it, but I'm going to say it. Preacher was sitting there in Mississippi, and the water started to flood up. Preacher was looking around and everything, and it came up into his house, and a sheriff came by and said, "Preacher, jump on in and I'll take you on to the safety." Preacher said, "My Lord will come and save me." He went by. A couple hunters came by in a boat. They said, "Preacher, jump on in, we'll take you to safety." Preacher said, "My Lord will save me, He's coming." Went by. Well, the water got up to the roof of the house, and he was up on the roof, and a helicopter came. Says, "Preacher, jump on in, we'll take you to safety." Preacher said, "My Lord will save me. He'll take care of me." Well, the water rised above the roof, and the preacher drowned. The preacher was sitting there, and he got to heaven. He looked at the Lord. He said, "Why didn't you save me? I asked you to save me." He said, "Fool, I sent you the sheriff, the hunters, and the helicopters, and yet you didn't go on any of them. That was your fault."